So, to my mind, these words from the Apostle Paul are prescriptive of the beloved community, which seems to lie unceasingly just beyond our reach, but not beyond our imaginings and not beyond our grasp or our achieving. Peace in the peaceable kingdom, that is what we seek. Thus far, as human beings still in our spiritual and emotional infancy, we are all wounded warriors, prone to distractions, missteps, misdirection, and miscellany of all kinds. And we have yet to put away our childish things. We still bicker like toddler siblings who haven't learned how to share their toys. Our innocence, naivete, and our longings for a better world, ironically, also make us ripe targets for charlatans who prey upon our trusting and loving nature. Our beautiful and bounteous world is full of treasures and trapdoors. It is imperative, if we intend to arrive at our heavenly destination, that we learn to look out for and discern the difference between the treasures and the traps. In the words of the late great Buddhist monk and peace activist Thich Nhat Hanh, peace is every step. And I borrowed the title of my message from him. Did I tell you? My message is entitled, Peace is Every Step. So if peace is to prevail, we must be the peace we seek. We must be the peacemakers. So this past week, I spent 3 days in Washington, D.C., attending a conference of multiracial and multi-faith organizing federations that are all under the umbrella of Faith in Action, which is a national organizing network that works to dismantle systems of injustice that are fueled by hatred and racism. I represented our church and our state as a board member of Power Interfaith Pennsylvania. The purpose of the gathering was to strengthen the ties between the federations and Faith in Action, as well as strengthen the ties and cooperation between and among the various national and international federations. Besides organizing in the United States, Faith in Action is actively organizing in Haiti and 11 other countries in Central America, Africa, and Eastern Europe. Like many of you, many of the attendees at the conference were concerned about the implications of our recent elections. Much of our discussions and planning centered around moving forward with our work, which will be continuing regardless of the outcome, and continuing to organize to build our power in service of our constituents, you and our brothers and sisters here and abroad. You'll be hearing more in the near future of our plans to be architects of a new America. And this is one of our t-shirts. We are going to be architects of a new America. And as part of that process, we actually built a sort of imaginary homes, and which were really very creative, imaginative. So our hotel was attached to the FEMA building, which is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And that's where our meetings were held. We were also just a few blocks from the Capitol building. Passing it as I drove by on my way home, I couldn't help but remember what happened there during the attempted insurrection. And as I drove by, I made a silent prayer that it would never happen again. And I also reminded myself that even on the steps of the Capitol, peace is every step. Now, preparing for today's message, I consulted a few of my favorite peacemakers and decided that you might be better served by hearing directly from them rather than a butchered paraphrase or analysis from me. So when I reached for my book, Peace, The Words and Inspiration of Mahatma Gandhi, I was especially thrilled when I realized that the introduction to the book was written by Archbishop Desmond Tutu, which I had forgotten. So, in light of my amazing trip to South Africa earlier this year, which included visiting the Desmond and Leela Tutu Museum, I felt that Providence had guided me to this particular reading. So I'm going to read the intro and then share a little Gandhi wisdom. And then after that, I will conclude with a gift from our former pastor, Susie Smith. So let's listen to the great Archbishop Desmond Tutu. In my culture and tradition, the highest praise that can be given to someone is you Ubuntu, an acknowledgement that he or she has this wonderful quality, Ubuntu. It is a reference to their actions toward their fellow human beings. It has to do with how they regard people and how they see themselves within their intimate relationships, their familial relationships, and within the broader community. Ubuntu addresses a central tenet of African philosophy, the essence of what it is to be human. The definition of this concept has two parts. The first is that the person is friendly, hospitable, generous, caring, and compassionate. Sounds like a good Boy Scout. In other words, someone who will use their strengths on behalf of others, the weak and the poor and the ill, and not take advantage of anyone. This person treats others as he or she would be treated. And because of this, they express the second part of the concept, which concerns openness, large-heartedness. They share their worth, and in doing so, my humanity is recognized and becomes inextricably bound to theirs. People with Ubuntu are approachable and welcoming. Their attitude is kindly and well-disposed. They are not threatened by the goodness in others because their own esteem and self-worth is generated by knowing they belong to a greater whole. To recast the Cartesian proposition, I think, therefore I am, Ubuntu would phrase it, I am human because I belong. Put another way, a person is a person through other people, a concept perfectly captured by the phrase, me, we. No one comes into the world fully formed. We would not know how to think or walk or speak or behave unless we learned it from our fellow human beings. We need other human beings in order to be human. The solitary, isolated human being is a contradiction in terms. Because we need one another, our natural tendency is to be cooperative and helpful. If this were not true, we would have died out as a species long ago, consumed by our violence and hate. But we haven't. We have kept on despite the evil and the wars that have brought so much suffering and misery down through the centuries. We have kept on because we strive for harmony and community, a community not only of the living, but also one that honors our forebears. This link to the past gives us a sense of continuity, a sense that we have created and create societies that are meant to be for the greater good and try to overcome anything that subverts our purpose. Our wars end, we seek to heal. But anger, resentment, a lust for revenge, greed, and even the aggressive competitiveness that rules so much of our contemporary world corrodes and jeopardizes our harmony. Ubuntu points out that those who seek to destroy and dehumanize are also victims. Victims usually of a pervading ethos, be it a political ideology, an economic system, or distorted religious conviction. Consequently, they are as much dehumanized as those on whom they trample. Never was this more obvious than during the apartheid years in South Africa. All humanity is interlinked. Thus, the humanity of the perpetrators of apartheid was inexorably bound to that of their victims. When they dehumanized another human being by inflicting suffering and harm, they dehumanized themselves. In fact, I said at the time that the oppressor was dehumanized as much as, if not more than, those oppressed. It was equally clear that recovering from this situation would require a magnanimousness on the part of the victims if there was to be a future. The end of apartheid, I knew, would put Ubuntu to the test. Yet I never doubted its power of reconciliation. In fact, I often called the words of a man called Malusi Mpumlwana, an associate of Stephen Biko, who even while he was being tortured by the security police, looked at his torturers and realized that these were human beings too, and that they needed him to help them recover the humanity they were losing. This is the essence of Ubuntu, or me, we, and it is expressed so poignantly in the life and actions of Mahatma Gandhi. In a long lifetime, he made personal sacrifices that constantly revealed his compassion and concern for others. Everything he did was a demonstration of Ubuntu. He was driven to help the poor, the sick, and the downtrodden, and to free them from colonialism, no matter the cost to himself. In the end, it cost him his life. However, he left us a legacy of inspiration that is remarkable in its sincerity and love of humanity. His Ubuntu showed that the only way we can ever be human is together. The only way we can be free is together. Desmond Tutu. So now I'm just going to share a few quotes. A few quotes by Mahatma Gandhi. And what I'd like you to do after I share the quote is just take a minute to pause and say, peace is every step. Okay? An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Peace is every step. There are many causes that I am prepared to die for, but no causes that I am prepared to kill for. Peace is every step. We who seek justice will have to do justice to others. Peace is every step. Our ability to reach unity in diversity will be the beauty and the test of our civilization. Peace is every step. Religions are different roads converging to the same point. What does it matter that we take different roads so long as we reach the same goal? Peace is every step. Genuine laughter is true eloquence and more effective than speech. The more efficient a force is, the more silent and the more subtle it is. Love is the subtlest force in the world. The law of love governs the world. Life persists in the face of death. The universe continues in spite of destruction going on. Truth triumphs over untruth. Love conquers hate. Peace is every step. Power based on love is 1,000 times more effective and permanent than the one derived from fear of punishment. Peace is every step. When a man gives way to anger, he harms himself. Peace is every step. I left my notes, so it's taking me a little longer. Every good deed is its own advertisement. Peace is every step. Outward peace is useless without inner peace. Peace is every step. If we are to make progress, we must not repeat history, but make new history. We must add to the inheritance left by our ancestors. Peace is every step. Those are the words of Mahatma Gandhi. And now I've realized it was 18 years ago that I received this little book as a gift from Pastor Susie Smith. It's called Amazing Peace. And it's a Christmas poem by Maya Angelou. And I thought this would be a good way to end today's message. Thunder rumbles in the mountain passes, and lightning rattles the eaves of our houses. Flood waters await in our avenues. Snow falls upon snow, to avalanche over unprotected villages. The sky slips low and gray and threatening. We question ourselves. What have we done to so affront nature? We interrogate and worry God. Are you there? Are you there, really? Does the covenant you made with us still hold? It is the glad season. Thunder ebbs to silence, and lightning sleeps quietly in the corner. Floodwaters recede into memory. Snow becomes a yielding cushion to aid us as we make our way to higher ground. Hope is born again in the faces of children. It rides on the shoulders of our aged as they walk into their sunsets. Hope spreads around the earth, brightening all things, even hate, which crouches breeding in dark corridors. We tremble at the sound. We are thrilled by its presence. It is what we have hungered for. Not just the absence of war, but true peace, a harmony of spirit, a comfort of courtesies, security for our beloveds and their beloveds. We clap hands and welcome the peace of Christmas. We beckon this good season to wait a while with us. We, Baptist and Buddhist, Methodist and Muslim, say, come, peace. Come and fill us and our world with your majesty. We, the Jew and the Janist, the Catholic and the Confucian, implore you to stay a while with us so we may learn by your shimmering light how to look beyond complexion and see community. It is Christmas time, a halting of hate time. On this platform of peace, we can create a language to translate ourselves and to each other. At this holy instant, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ into the great religions of the world. We jubilate the precious advent of trust. We shout with glorious tongues the coming of hope. All the earth's tribes loosen their voices to celebrate the promise of peace. We, angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, look heavenward and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at our world and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at each other, then into ourselves, and we say without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, my brother, peace, my sister, peace, my soul. When peace like a river upholds me each day, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, you have taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. With every step, it is well with my soul.